As part of the section module, we are going through the details related to performance tuning of SQL queries. In this lecture, let's go ahead and understand how to generate explain plan for the SQL queries. In this case, we are using Postgres as our database. When it comes to Postgres, we should be able to use pgadmin or psql to connect to database. Whether you use pgadmin or psql, you should be able to use a command called as explain to generate the explain plan. Let me open pgadmin here. Now you can actually say explain. Then you should be able to specify the query to get the explain plan of the query. In this case, we can say select star from orders where order ID equal to 2. Now I should be able to select this and click on execute or refresh. You see, we are able to see the explain plan. However, it is not very readable, but you should be able to expand like this and you should be able to get the complete explain plan. Now let us come up with another query. This time I'll be using join and also I will perform aggregation. We can start with the explain. Then we can say select, then o dot star, comma, sum of order item subtotal. Let me say oi dot order item subtotal. Also let's make sure we use round so that the revenue is rounded off to 2 decimals. We should be able to say numeric like this. Then we can say 2 to make sure the revenue is rounded off to 2 decimals. We can actually provide alias for this saying as revenue. Then we can say from orders as O. Then join order underscore items as OI on O dot order underscore ID equal to OI dot order item order ID. Let me also add where condition. As part of the where condition, I'll be saying o dot order underscore ID equal to 2. In this case, we are trying to get all the details for order ID 2 from orders along with revenue using order item subtotal from order items. As we have aggregate function sum on top of order item subtotal here, we also need to use group by. As part of the group by, we need to specify all the fields in orders. Let's start with o dot order ID. Then we need to specify the other fields, order date, then order customer ID, then order status. Now we should be able to run this to see the explain plan. You can see the output here. When it comes to the explain plan, it will be generated in a tree structure. If you observe, the tree structure is not formatted properly. Hence, the explain plans are not readable. Using this interface, you should be able to use the psql. psql is another command line tool. You can also launch psql from PowerShell if you have psql properly configured as part of your system. Now, if you pick those queries, let me pick this query first. Let me go to psql here. Let me paste here. Now let me hit enter. You can see the explain plan here. Let's also pick the second query. Let's go to psql. Let's paste. Now let's hit enter. You see this time the query plan is in a tree structure. It is better readable using this interface. We'll go to the details about interpreting this very soon. However, instead of using psql, if you wanted to use the pgadmin directly, then instead of using explain command, you can remove the explain command. There is the alternative way to actually generate explain plan using pgadmin. You can select the query for which you wanted to generate explain plan. Then you see you have two options, explain and explain analyze. You can click on explain here. It will take care of generating the explain plan. You can see the pictorial representation of explain plan here. You can see the readable explain plan here. You can also see the statistics. Let's also generate the explain plan using this query. Let me clean up explain here. If you wanted to use pgadmin, you don't need to use explain command. Rather, you just select the query here and click on this button. You can see the graphical representation of explain plan, the textual representation of explain plan, which is readable. Also, you can see the statistics here. When you use these options internally, pgadmin issues explain command only. However, the output will be represented in different formats by running some code under the hood. We don't need to worry too much about it. Either we can issue explain command to get the explain plan, or we should be able to use these buttons in pgadmin to generate explain plan. On top of explain, you also have explain analyze. The difference will be in analysis. When you just say explain, it is only showing explain plan. But when you actually click on explain explain analyze, it will show some additional information. You can observe the additional information here. Let's click on explain here. You do not have additional columns here, but when it comes to explain analyze, you have additional columns, rows, loops, etc. This is how you should be able to generate explain plan using Postgres as the database. We have seen details using both psql. As part of psql, you just have to use explain command. You can pass the query, then it will generate explain plan like this. You can run explain command even using a query tool of pgadmin. However, the explain plan that will be generated will not be very readable. Instead of using explain command, you just have to come up with query. Then you can use these options to generate explain plans and other details as well. Make sure you are fairly comfortable with the command explain to generate explain plan. As we have understood how to generate explain plan, now it is time for us to explore how to interpret these explain plans. We'll go to those details as part of subsequent lectures in this section or module.